Hello, everybody, and welcome to Introduction to Enterprise AI. We're going to talk a little bit today about the risk and governance implications of AI. My name is Pete Cronus. I am a recently retired CISO. I spent my career in information security, and today I spend most of my time advising CISOs on cybersecurity strategy and startups. Well, let's dive in today and talk a little bit about kind of AI. It's hard to talk about AI without talking about data itself. Many of us have experienced in our careers the absolute explosion proliferation of data inside of enterprises. We think about data as a commodity, just as the way we think about oil as a commodity. And what's interesting though is data, if mishandled, if their appropriate protections are not in place, we can have serious issues. Similar to the way oil, if you're not protecting your oil, if you're transporting it in an unsafe fashion, very often you become high risk for oil spills. With data, if you're not protecting your data appropriately, you can have serious data breaches. And many of us, as security practitioners, as privacy practitioners, spend a lot of time and energy uh, trying to reduce the risk of data breaches in our enterprise. And Bruce Schneier nailed it on the head that data is the new oil, and we have to protect it and treat it like the sensitive kind of commodity it is in our ecosystem. Now, when we start to think about AI, it's hard to talk about AI without talking about data. But before we dive in and talk a little bit about data security, let's talk a little bit about the different types of AI applications that are in use inside our enterprise. Now, you can get pretty granular here, but I like to keep things basic, and I like to think about things maybe three types of AI technologies that we're using in our enterprise today. And these aren't mutually exclusive, but let's talk about them as kind of unique entities. An AI application, I'd like to think about that as something that's very purpose built. Generally, it's end user software, and an individual is directly interacting with an application. ChatGPT, Adobe Firefly, those are great examples of AI applications. They're also built into things that we use every day, like Netflix's recommendation engine or Facebook's facial recognition software and technology. They're built into applications. In order for the technologists to build AI applications, very often they're leveraging a set of engineering tools. These are tools that help connect and allow companies to build their own AI enabled applications without building their own LLMs. So essentially, these engineering tools are things like Amazon Bedrock, or you might go a little bit deeper and connect to some AI modules through Hugging Face. Really interesting kind of capabilities, leveraging somebody else's models in order to be able to create a capability inside your organization and ecosystem. I'd say 95% of all that we're doing inside enterprises today, it's probably closer between 95 and 99%, depending upon your organization. You're either using an AI application that somebody else built, or you're building your own AI enabled application, leveraging somebody else's engineering tools. Some companies will build their own LLMs, and you start to think about these are LLMs are capabilities that are built into ChatGPT or some of the other chat functions. So GPT-4, Claude 3, Gemini are all examples of LLMs that have been created and are likely being leveraged directly through an engineering layer or through directly through an AI application. And some companies are building their own AI models. That'll become more common over time. But right now, about 95 to 99% of enterprise usage of applications or AI technology are usually at the application or engineering tools layer. It's interesting to look at tools in these three categories because it helps us evaluate and understand our risk. And so when you're using an AI application, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're not training the AI model in sensitive data unless that's your intention, right? Very often, these AI applications, if configured in certain ways, could potentially share sensitive information. Anything that you input in the AI model could be captured and stored and used in somebody else's results in the future. So you have to be really careful. When you think about engineering tools, think about engineering tools being plugged into or having direct access to data stores inside your ecosystem. Again, you have to be very mindful and careful that if you're building your own AI-enabled applications, you have the right guidelines and guardrails in place to ensure that um, those engineering tools are being used consistently with the commitments you've made to your customers, and also make sure that they're used consistently with your own internal information security guidelines. AI models, building AI models represents probably the most complex engineering challenge, but also the most complex engineering risk. You want to make sure that your AI models don't hallucinate and use inputs from queries into the AI model inappropriately and perhaps provide inaccurate results. So safety and security become really important as you're properly developing your own internal kind of LLMs. So how do we mitigate risk, right? It's really important to think about data security as you're thinking about your overall risk management strategy in AI security. Understanding and appreciating where your data is located and understanding and appreciating which AI systems have access to sensitive data in your ecosystems is really critical. You want to be mindful that your AI applications or your people in your company who might be leveraging AI applications have the right access to the right data and don't have overly permissive access. So security controls are really important. You want to be able to monitor AI tool usage on a continuous basis. Obviously, sometimes if you're using engineering tools, vulnerabilities could be introduced. You want to make sure that your AI models aren't altered in an unauthorized fashion. You want to make sure you understand and appreciate the flow of sensitive data into AI engineering tools or into an LLM or into an AI application so that you can ensure that um, sensitive data or sensitive intellectual property isn't leaving the company. And then you want to set good guardrails. What is good AI usage? What does good responsible AI usage look like in your environment? You have to have good policies and procedures and good audit trails to be able to prove that you're following those policies and procedures. And probably most importantly, if you're building your own AI applications, if you're building your own LLMs, to make sure that you have embedded data security into your AI development software development lifecycle. That's really kind of critical and really important. I'm reminded of a quote from Yotam Saigev, who is the CEO of data security company Cyera. And he said this in a speech that he made recently. He says, when you think about risks that may come from the use of intelligent AI, it starts with data. And he's right. Being conscious of the types of data that we're allowing in our models and applications is the foundation of responsible AI driven innovation. I think that's really true for those of us who are practitioners in the space. Many of us are learning as AI evolves and develops. One fundamental one fundamental thing will remain true no matter where AI takes us is that data security is going to be a critical and key component. So you start to think about data security and modern data security programs, it's really important to evaluate whether or not you have the capability to do all those things we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Identify where sensitive data is located, understand the risk associated with the AI models that you're using, monitor for potential incidents, understand the flow of data, that's data lineage, and understand um, the appropriate data access management controls in your ecosystem. Now, that's a mouthful. And what I would encourage you to do if you're struggling with trying to evaluate or manage or input any of those in your ecosystem, I would consider thinking about leveraging a DSPM solution and building the appropriate processes and technology to help you understand some of the challenges that you're facing in the modern data ecosystem. And a good data DSPM solution, a data security posture management solution, will help you with SaaS, infrastructure as a service, database as a service, and on-prem solutions. So I want to make sure that if you are looking at DSPM to help you on your AI journey or your data security journey, you're looking at something that can help you assess and identify data security risk across all of those platforms. If you'd like to learn more about DSPM, the folks at Sierra have created a few opportunities for you to learn more. We've recently co-launched a book, DSPM for Dummies. I co-authored that book along with Jason Clark and Scott Solomon from Sierra. Um, if you're thinking about how to implement a DSPM solution, Sierra has also authored a DSPM adoption report that's full of real world examples on how you might be able to implement a modern data security solution in your ecosystem. And if you want to kick the tires, you can always request a demo. And there's 3 QR codes here for you to evaluate, or at least to learn more about each of those options and solutions. So with that, I thank you for your time and your attention today and wish you good luck on your data security journey.